See a meme tweet that says Naomi Watts has a blah face? Well, in the movie Shut In, she gave a very blah performance. Now, I know that Naomi Watts has been the Australian American scream queen since about 2002, but I never really found her that much of a charismatic individual. Watching her in interviews puts me to sleep. Watching her act puts me to sleep. I'm surprised I didn't fall asleep with this one. However, I don't remember what movie it was that I watched before this one, and I was like, oh, she actually gave something. But everybody just praised her acting to high heaven in the early 2000s, almost to the point where it was like, she's so good. And she really, really wasn't. She was not good. She was okay. She wasn't good. The movie kind of goes against the rules of not wide release theaters, but basically it didn't really get a lot of releases. I do believe it came to our town and a couple other small towns, but it was in a week, and our town has this way that they've got 4 really good theaters, and then the third one's for the garbage heaps, the ones that they know there's no reason for them to put a lot of. They know that not a lot of people are going to come see it. It's not projected to be very good. So it was in theater 3. Back onto it. Now, this character is so perfect, and it's funny that her first name is Mary because she is a Mary Sue. She's a child psychologist who's extra patient with her narcissistic, controlling, manipulative, psychopathic son. And the audience knows from the beginning that most likely this kid is faking it completely. And I think even she knows. The story is the adults, Naomi Watts' character and her husband, are arguing about something to do with the kid. And the kid, and he's an adult, but he's a kid, is having this little bratty teenager meltdown. And not just, I never get to do anything fun. No, I'm so sick of my dad taking attention away from me and my mom, so I'm going to kill my dad and then pretend to be an invalid for a very long time. And since my mom never spanked me, punished me, told me no, or did anything to me because books told her it was wrong, I'm going to pretend to be an invalid, and then I'm going to trap one of her favorite kids from this sort of daytime counseling crisis center she has in her house. And here's a problem. Let's get on to this problem real quick that I have. Anyone who has a business in their house where there are going to be children there, or anyone who even is just like a teenage babysitter, and there's going to be somebody's children in their house, or you're going to be going to somebody's house, they get a very extensive, very thorough background check. And your house is inspected. No way in hell could this lady live in this house for like a year and not know all these corridors were there. No way in hell could it have went past the inspection crew people. But everybody in this movie is just so woefully ignorant and stupid. So stupid. A nurse comes in the middle of the night because she has some sort of weird panic attack because some weird stuff's going on in her house, and she thinks the boy from her group has died in the woods and is now haunting her house. That's what it said on the back. That's what it said in the back of the case. That's what it said in the synopsis, and that's what it tried to tell you in the previews. But we're smarter than that. By the time it got to the dream sequence where she's trying to drown her invalid son and he's fighting back, you stop and you think, she knows. She knows, but she's such a passive-aggressive character who's always trying to look like hard to be this great, wonderful character that is an inspiration, and it's such a one-dimensional character that when the nurse comes and the nurse takes her blood pressure, the nurse does offer her this invitation to go get counseling because of all the shit she's dealing with. But first the nurse says, your blood pressure is a little high. Gonna need to lose weight. Naomi Watts. Just stop and think about that for a minute. Naomi Watts, a skinny Australian girl. How is she going to healthily lose weight, huh? Cut her hair? And hell, what's this? This is like a couple pounds. I mean, hell, my blood pressure would probably be high because I need to lose weight. This nurse is obviously first time on the job. This nurse is one of those people that doesn't understand how hard it is yet to take care of the ailing and the dying and the incapacitated. There are nights where you just end up drinking your face off. And then you start out totally and completely like this. Life is grand. Life is great. I'm helping people every day. I wake up and I'm so happy to be alive and be doing what I do because it is so beautiful. And then you end up like a day from hell. Everyone down there should die. Fizz. Stupid pink wine. God, yeah, I'm filling it up. I'm filling it all the way up and I'm drinking it. It's going down like a shot. They don't. It's not a very exciting film. It won't get the star of actually scared me. It's getting 2 stars. 1, you tried. And it did. It tried. It tried so hard with its Mary Sue type character. The kid was a pretty decent actor. The plot twist I saw coming a mile away. The kid is not actually disabled. The kid that she thinks is dead is just hiding in corridors of this house because this one kid like beat him up and scared him. And I think the kid might be developmentally challenged. So he's abusing a developmentally challenged kid. And then in the end, there's this long talk. And instead of her, I know it's her kid. I know it's her kid. And I know she wants the best for him. But she had a dream where she drowned him. She can't want the best for him anymore. I know. And then whatever. But she just lets him talk. Lets him talk about how he intentionally killed the dad and how he undid the seatbelt so that he was thrown from the car and he did it in a certain way. And then he said that he saw the way that she was being so attentive and how she had atoned for her sins. And her sins were like, oh, hey, honey, I think you should go to college and be an adult now. This movie is so full of horror cliches that it's honestly terrible. A white woman loses her husband, her kid is disabled, moves to the middle of nowhere. She's this really great, really smart person. We can't just ever have some motherfucker that works at goddamn 7-Eleven or McDonald's moving into a 2-bedroom house or some shit like that. No, it's always a computer programmer. It's always some doctor that's working on the cure for cancer. It's always some freaking massive architect. It's always some celebrity who had a mental breakdown and now is deciding to move to the biggest house in the world. I really hate more than anything when all these characters are so good, such good people. It's nauseating. Anyway, I give this 2 stars, the You Tried star, and a decent acting star. Now, this is the decent acting thing. You know how your friend's set like has 3 guy friends the same name. Let's just say Kyle for the sake of it. And she has ugly Creepy Kyle. Creepy Kyle kind of smells and he leers at you, and Creepy Kyle like farts a lot, and he's just really gross. Then there's really handsome Kyle. Handsome Kyle smells amazing, has wonderful hair and beautiful teeth, and when he says, "Hey baby," it makes you weak in the knees. But when Creepy Kyle says, "Hey baby," it makes you vomit, because Kyle's creepy. Then there's middle of the road Kyle, and she comes to you and she says, "Hey, I set you up with Kyle," and you're like, "Oh my gosh, not the smelly one, right? Please tell you set me up with the good looking one." And then she set you up with middle of the road Kyle. He's not exactly drop dead gorgeous, but he's got personality. His teeth are clean. He good hygiene, nice guy, have a good job, good conversation. She set you up with middle of the road Kyle. You're not going to hurry up and jump right into bed with the middle of the road Kyle, but you're not going to run screaming. So this script was middle of the road Kyle. It was okay, and that's what it was. It was just okay. So 2 stars. It didn't get... Wait. Actually, the acting. The acting is the middle of the road Kyle. The script was... It was a pile of cliches with over-the-top, altruistic characters that just always do the right thing. They're so good, they make the bad guy look bad. And it's just nauseating. It's so just, it's just gross. I hate it. I want my characters to have some vices. When I write characters, they've got vices. They like smoke and drink, and they do a lot of stuff. But this character was so perfect. It was too much. Like Naomi Watts' face has no features, there's no freckles, or there's no wrinkles. Even when she acts, her face doesn't contort. It's still a pond of stillness. Like this, only with one chin. And her hair never gets messed up. Like, yeah. It's just not good. So, that's my review for Shut-In. 2 stars. Acting was good, by the supporting characters. And the script was bland. It didn't scare me, and there weren't very many original ideas. So that's participation, script, acting, scared me. And decent plot. So yeah, acting and participation. And that's my review for Shut-In. Thank you for watching.